Oh yeah, back up here. Look at that. Nice little walkway. Got a walkway and a bridge. All right, back up at camp. It is January 2023. Happy New Year, everybody. It's January 6th, I think, is today, if I'm correct. Made it up to camp. It's going to be chilly. When I left Charlotte, it was 60. I made it up here. It's 45. And it is going to go down to 30 tonight. So I have very, very, very little daylight. And I need to set up camp as quickly as possible. What I need to do is get a damn thermal and a flannel on before I freeze up here. Listen to me bitching. All my YouTube friends out there that are in New York and Alaska, it's already like negative 20. I'm up here bitching about it going down to 40, 30. All right, let me set up camp and build a fire, and then I'll get back with you. All right, so this trip, a couple of things. One, I have to apologize for any sound quality. I forgot my microphone. Forgot my tripod, forgot my stupid selfie stick thing. So I just have to rely on, the old school method. Anyways, this mess right here, this is what this trip is going to fix. I pre-cut the pieces for a deck box, and this is where I'm going to store all of these items. This right here is a disaster. This is killing me. So every time I come up to camp, I have to unwrap all my stuff. It's wrapped up in 2 tarps. And inside those tarps, I've got a couple of crates and the tent and my cot and a chair and a couple of tables. And then every time I pack camp up, I have to wrap everything up in those tarps. And it takes a while, and it's a pain in my ass. And it's pretty waterproof, but it's not vermin proof. So almost every time I come up here, we've got a couple of mice that have made a home in there. And to be honest, I know everybody's like, oh, get these mice out of here. I feel bad. Like, they made a home there. And the last time I came up here, I pulled one out, and it was like a whole family, and it had babies. Yeah, you call me an idiot or whatever you want to say, but, I feel bad. You just wrecked someone's home, even though that's my stuff, and that's technically my home. So we are going to fix this problem. I've got a deck box, and I will no longer have to wrap my stuff up in a tarp. So again, every time we come up here, the goal is to make things just a little bit easier, just a little bit nicer. And then once we start building the deck, then the deck. Once we start building the cabin, then everything gets infinitely nicer, and we have a place to store things, and everything's dry, and everything is nice and stable, and we can come up here whenever we want, and we can rent it out and make a couple of dollars. That's the goal. But for now, we have to get everything situated as best as we can. And this right here is an annoyance, and that annoyance will no longer be a reality. We're going to fix this problem on this trip. All right, let me set up camp, and then we'll get the fire going, and we'll get some food, because I'm hungry. All right, a little dark. Hopefully you can see me by the light. Got the little buddy heater going, and got a little fire outside as well. Man, you can probably barely see me. The light that you're seeing me by is partially by a full moon. That is insanely bright. Let's see if I can get it. Look at that. I know I'm going to be super dark on this video, but man, that's a very, very bright full moon. Hopefully the werewolves don't come out. All right, I have to make some food and try and warm up. I'm very cold. It's not that cold, but I'm cold. My feet are cold. The rest of me isn't too bad, but my feet are cold, so I might have to put on a jacket. All right, let me make some food, and then we'll settle in for the night. Cool. Yeah, good morning. All right, let's make some coffee, and then we have some work to do. Let's go. First thing we need to do is clear this mess. I'm gonna be so happy to not have all these tarps and all this stuff up here. Yeah, we gotta get all these leaves off of here. I knew that I had left a broom up here, and last night I couldn't find it to clear all my leaves off. This morning I came outside and I found it. Right there. So obviously my broom fell off the other side of the deck somehow, some way. But make some coffee and we'll get this deck cleared and we'll get this deck box up here. Let's roll. Yep. And of course we find, as we're taking apart these tarps, I find, yeah, a little, yeah, we got a big old rat's nest. Not really rats. This isn't New York City. They're mice, but whatever. So I gotta get this stuff. This is it's my old tent right here. We haven't used it in a couple of years, but I keep wrapping it up here just in case I get up here and this tent is trashed from the mice eating holes in it or something. Or it's like soaking wet or something happened to it. You know, I've got this spare, but I think what I'm going to do is put this underneath the deck because I haven't used it in almost 2 years. So I think it's time to put it away. So I keep clearing this stuff out. Get this rat's nest out of here. Keep cleaning. Look at that. Nice clean deck. I love it. Everything's so much nicer when it's cleaned off, right? All right, before I start bringing up the pieces for this deck box and putting the deck box together, I noticed something while drinking my coffee that I thought about while I was building fire in my fire pit. And, you know, I had researched a bunch of like the fancy like smokeless fire pits and like how you make those, right? And they all have holes drilled all along in the bottom, and that's how they get oxygen into the fire. My fire pit, what I did is, right, I drilled holes in the bottom of it, and then we put mesh over that, and then we put gravel, just pea gravel over the mesh, so that when it rains up here, because this thing is not covered in any way, when it rains up here, the water will drain out of the bottom and it won't be just filled with water the next time I come up here. And it's worked really well. Every time I come up here, the fire pit is nice and dry. There isn't a drop of water in it. I think my problem, though, is that I don't have holes right along. See if I can get this right. I don't have holes along the bottom. And I think that is what's causing fire. Is very difficult to build in this fire pit. It's very difficult to get going. No matter what, I've got super dry wood. You know, we put pine to start, and I've got some Bradford pear, which is really not great wood, but it burns okay. It just burns really fast. It's crap. That's a trash tree. If you have a Bradford pear tree in your property, cut it down. They're trash. We've got oak too. I've got a ton of oak. I had 2 oak trees taken down in my backyard at home, and I've got a ton of oak. It burns great, but it's hard to get started. It burns for a long time, but it is tough to get started. But I think one of my problems getting the fire started in this fire pit is the fact that I don't have those holes drilled along the bottom. It's tough to get oxygen into the bottom of the fire to get the fire to go up, right? So before I get this deck box brought up here, I'm gonna drill some holes in the side of this fire pit. I'm going to drill one fairly large hole in the side for my new little toy. Yeah, I hate buying shit made in China, but this thing, little barbecue hand crank fan blower. And if I could stick this right in the side of the fire pit, this will push air right into the bottom of the fire. And I think this is gonna blaze. So let's drill a bigger hole down in the bottom so I can get this thing in there. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, we got it. Oh, smoke in my eyes there. I'm gonna drill a few holes on the backside, and I'll just do that off camera. But I can tell you right now that just with this little fire that's in there right now, just the amount of oxygen that I've gotten in with just these holes on the front side, this fire has picked up a lot already. So I think I fixed it. Well, time to take a trip to Lowe's. I can't believe this. I can believe it because this is my luck and the story of my life. I always try to do things as well prepared and organized as possible, and then something inevitably, just one small little detail goes wrong. So I pre-cut all the panels for the deck box. Pre-cut all of them. I pre-cut the frame for the top, and I never loaded it in the truck. I loaded the sides, the top, and the bottom. I never loaded the sides, and I never loaded the frame for the top. And because I thought that I was being well prepared and organized by cutting all these pieces ahead of time, I did not bring circular saw, did not bring the jigsaw, and I didn't even bring the handsaw. So the funny thing is on the handsaw is that every single time I don't think I'm going to need it, I don't bring it, and then I end up needing it. So I have purchased not one, not two, but 3 handsaws for up here at camp. And every time I pack up all my stuff and I take the handsaw back home. So back home, at the gym, I have 2 handsaws, and at home, I now have 2 handsaws. So I have 4 total. I'm about to go buy my 4th handsaw, and this one will stay here inside the deck box. But luckily, it's only 1 o'clock, so I've got plenty of time. Sun doesn't go down until 5:30. It's a little overcast today, but overall it's not too bad. But it's only 1 o'clock, so we're going to take a break from the deck box, and I have to go get some more 2x3s, and I'll just have them cut the plywood right there at Lowe's so that I don't have to cut it. And yeah, that's it. I was hopeful that I could get 2 small pieces of plywood cut at Lowe's, but their saw was out of order. So we will be cutting plywood by hand. This is going to be fun. Super fun. Let's go. Got to get this done. Keep that fire going up there, and then get a snack before the sun goes down, and then just hang out and relax. But we got work to do. Let's finish up this deck box. Well. Look at that. We have a box. Is that a box or a coffin? Good Lord. You could put like at least 3 bodies in there. Just saying. Not that I would know anything about that. Not bad. Pretty good. I got a few more screws to put in. I'm putting in minimal screws because I only have 1 battery. And I got to put hinges on. I got to put the frame together for the top. So I don't think I'll record that. I'm also trying to save battery on my phone. So I'm going to put this frame together and then I'll go get the top and then I'll come back. All right, let's get to work. Got our handle on. Nice big deck box. Be able to throw everything in here, keep the mice out, keep everything nice and dry, and my wife will be happy. We'll take a closer look tomorrow in the daylight and I'll get the latches on. But for now, look at that. Whew. That was a fairly productive day today. I'm just glad that I got done everything that I wanted to get done. So, just settling down for the night. Just finished cooking dinner. Nothing special tonight, just a burger with a fried egg on it. Simple. Some taters, some shredded hash browns. That's it. Pretty simple. Just gonna kind of settle in front of the heater here. It's just too damn cold outside to be outside by the fire. I threw a couple more logs on it just to try and keep it going through the night. I'll be really happy. Hopefully, I think next week I'm gonna be able to order my wood stove. I was supposed to order it a week ago and I just couldn't make it happen. Had a bunch of other stuff going on, and anyways, so I'm just gonna settle down for the rest of the night and just talk to some friends and family and talk to the wife and make sure everything is going okay and back down in the city. And then tomorrow, pack everything up and we are out of here. Just super happy that I got that deck box done. It's going to make packing up and getting out of here so much faster. So I don't know. Game time decision tomorrow, packing up what we're going to leave here. But I'm going to settle down for the night. That's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Night. All right. I would say good morning, but it's actually afternoon. It's just after 12. I didn't film anything this morning while I was waking up because I had work to do and it was raining. So it started raining at like 7 a.m. and it's been raining on and off ever since. It let up for the past hour, which gave me just enough time to take the tent down, pack everything up, and get the last few screws in that deck box. Look at that. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, look at that. It's almost as if the person who built that took measurements and planned ahead and knew what they were doing. Oh my God. It is a thing of beauty. Really. Who would have thought you could be so happy with a giant box or a coffin? All right, so this bin is all pots and pans. I've re-oiled all my cast iron, so everything's gonna stay nice and oily and not get rusty. My my flat griddle pan had a bit of rust on it, quite a bit actually. I did the best I could with it, with the tools that I had, and I oiled the living daylights out of it. Tiny bit of rust on my Dutch oven. My skillet that I normally use didn't have any rust, but man, I oiled the living daylights out of all of it. Everything packed up in there. So this is the big risk right here. This is blankets, paper towels, lanterns, and other supplies. Most of those blankets are wool, so we should be okay. I've got a ton of mothballs inside of here. I just couldn't fit, that's my little rug that I put down. I just couldn't fit that, but I put the tables on top and that weights the tops down and keeps the tops snug. And then down in the bottom, you can't see it, but down in there is my cot and then my chair. I've got the heater, the propane tank. The heater ran flawlessly last night. I think the propane tank that I had up here before, I basically left it out. I don't even think I covered it under the tarp. I think somehow it got moisture in it, or the valve was bad or something. The first night here, the heater was like flickering the entire time, and it just never really put out really good heat. This is gonna tip over. There we go. But I switched it out. I actually ran out of propane out of that tank. I had this tank from home, which is about a quarter full, and I switched those tanks, and man, that heater ran flawlessly last night. And of course, the tent. The good thing now, I don't have to take the tent, the whole thing. I don't have to take it out of here. So I can just leave that bag in the deck box and just take things out and leave the bag in there. So this makes me really happy. Eventually, I'll rig up some pneumatic arms so that it opens like super easy. So Lindsay will be able to open it and it'll stay open and it won't close, and we won't need to rig it like this. But it is really starting to rain, so I am going to stop filming and get out of here. Last thing we'll take a look at before we leave, I've got the trail camera set up on that tree right there, and I got a whole separate video on the trail camera. So super happy. I've already gotten some pictures from it. Mind you, the pictures were just me going back and forth to the truck. Overall, it should be set up good. We'll take a look at that on our way out, but it's raining. I got to get out of here. All right, we are out of here. I'm gonna wave goodbye to the trail camera and to camp. There's our trail camera right there. Should be a bunch of shots of us going back and forth to the truck. Before I leave, I just want to take a special moment. A friend of mine from high school died last week in a snowmobile accident, and he really enjoyed watching all of the videos of me building this camp. He used to message me about you know, what my plan was and when my next trip was. He loved to go camping, he loved to go hunting. I probably haven't seen him in over 20 years, at least maybe 25 years, since we were really young, but I've known him since we were real little kids. We went to school together, grew up together, hung out together. The one funny story that I'll tell, because it's really quick, one night we got hammered and we took his dad, we borrowed his dad's Malibu, and it had a 350 in it, and we just took it out and just roasted the tires on it, just repeatedly. I bet you we brought it back with absolutely no tread left on the tires. Just super fun times I had with that kid growing up. And last week, he died in a snowmobile accident up in New York, and literally 2 days before he passed, he messaged me and asked me how, you know, the progress was on camp and when I was going back up and what I was doing. I told him I was coming up this weekend, and you know, I was gonna get a wood stove and build the deck box and a couple other things and set up the trail camera. And you know, it was just, I thought about that a lot this weekend. You know, the fact that I was up here enjoying this camp and the fresh air and the scenery, and my boy Brett McGowan was gone. So it's tough, but it just shows that, you know, you got to cherish every day. You got to live. You got to live life to the fullest and really, you know, do everything you can to live a good life. So peace out, Brett. We'll see you, bro.